What is going on, guys? We have it finally. Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man issue 3. But before we dive into this issue, I'm actually going to be giving away a free digital code for this comic. And pretty much to enter the giveaway, all you've got to do is just let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the next issue. Now, this issue actually ends on a major cliffhanger. And I'll ask this question again at the end, because then it'll make more sense. But yeah, so just stick around until the end, and then I'll ask the giveaway question again, and then I will reveal the winner in issue 4 of Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man. So anyway, we might as well dive straight into the issue now. Alright, so it pretty much kicks off at the Daily Bugle, and they're talking about them spider twins. No one knows who they are, no one knows what they are. We kind of think that they're two clones of Peter Parker right now. But it pretty much starts off with them trying to figure out a story at the Daily Bugle. Now, one thing we have to remember is that J. Jonah Jameson in the Ultimate Universe actually likes Spider-Man, and he actually knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man before he died. So, it's pretty awesome. I love the dialogue between just everyone in the room here especially, and because Jameson is kind of contradicting himself, saying that he wants facts and like actual proof of these stories, and then he's got a picture in the background of it saying Spider-Man Menace. It's just so funny. But then we also, I can't remember his name, I think it's Ben, I think his name is, I cannot remember his name, I've completely forgot. But he runs into the room and actually starts shouting about Norman Osborn being set free and how he's alive and stuff like that. But what I'm more interested in is that I think that they're going to discover that it's actually Peter Parker who is running about as well that's alive. And of course, everyone knows that Peter Parker's actually dead. So when they hear that Peter Parker's alive, it'll be just like, what the hell? And the internet will blow up and newspapers will sell like crazy and questions will be going back and forth and all this, and it'll be just so good. But then we actually have this woman who's called Chang, and if you remember, she was there when Miles Morales' mum died, I think it was, way back in issue 23 before the Cataclysm. Now, obviously, Chang. So that kind of reminds me of Whitney Chang, the reporter out of the Amazing Spider-Man game. I don't know, maybe that's like a bit of an Easter egg, but she originally came into it when she thought that Miles Morales' dad was Spider-Man, which is pretty weird. But then, of course, we're back with Miles Morales' gang and his girlfriend Kate, and it happens. He actually tells her that he's Spider-Man. He reveals his identity, and of course, she does what any girl probably would do, any person would do, and run. She just runs the hell away. I think she's kind of in shock. She's kind of got to run away and process what's actually happening and what's going on. At first, she's kind of just smiling, like, yeah, good joke type of thing. But then she realised that he's actually serious, and she just takes off. Just runs away. One thing that I thought was pretty interesting, though, and it's kind of one thing after another here. So he's just told his girlfriend that he's Spider-Man, and then straight after all this stuff is happening, like that homicide police officer Chang or whatever her name is, she just drives up and tells Miles Morales to get in, because she actually has probably 90% sure that Miles Morales is Spider-Man. So she just turns up and tells him to get in the car, and Miles just runs away. Pretty much what his girlfriend does, he just jumps over the car and turns invisible. Now, of course, Chang doesn't know that Miles can turn invisible, so when she turns around, she thinks that he's just run away, pretty much. And Gank's just kind of left, stood there like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to do? And then Miles just reappears when she's gone, which is freaking awesome. And especially because I can't believe he just jumped over the car like that. Like, wouldn't that kind of, I don't know, give proof that he is Spider-Man, because he kind of just leaped over the car like it was nothing? I don't know, but yeah. So he's thinking about running after his girlfriend Kate and all this, and she's kind of gone off to process it. I wish we got a bit more interaction between them two. Like, I wish she would have freaked out a bit maybe and stuff like that. Going back to what I was saying about everything happening at the same time, they actually get notified that Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, is alive. Now, I kind of think that Norman Osborn is behind Peter Parker still being alive, like, because it's kind of like the Joker and Batman, you know, like Joker and Batman, Spider-Man and Green Goblin, they're kind of like made for each other kind of thing. As Joker said in the Dark Knight movie, what happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable objects. So that's kind of what Spider-Man and Green Goblin are, so I kind of think that Norman Osborn is somehow behind Peter Parker being still alive. Like, maybe he's cloned Peter Parker so he can have another fight with Peter or something, I don't know. But Norman Osborn's got a pretty sick mind, so yeah. But as you remember, S.H.I.E.L.D. actually got shut down, and now it's just kind of like the FBI, agency, SWAT team, stuff like that. And we go back to Officer Chang, or Director Chang, whichever you want to call her. But now I actually remember that she was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. She replaced Nick Fury. I actually remember that now. But we get this awesome entrance from Norman Osborn here. And I absolutely love how he's just kind of in a suit and he was like expecting them to find him, like he was just stood there. But one thing that just really baffles my mind is that he put a suit on to eventually turn back into the Green Goblin. Like, that obviously it's Norman Osborn, the suit must have cost him a few grand, you know, like, it wouldn't have been cheap, surely. But yeah, so he kind of pretends that he's surrendering, he's kind of blabbering on about how she failed S.H.I.E.L.D. and she failed Nick Fury, and how she wasn't the match for Nick Fury, like she couldn't handle controlling S.H.I.E.L.D. and that's why S.H.I.E.L.D. got shut down. And if you remember, S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually keeping Norman Osborn locked up in a cell, but when S.H.I.E.L.D. got shut down, Norman Osborn was not set free, but he had to be moved to a different unsecure location, so it couldn't hold him. And then, boom, he just blasts back up into Green Goblin again, and it's just awesome. And he pretty much sets Chang's face on fire. He just grabs her in the face, and yeah, you can kind of see her head on fire there. Don't know what's going to happen to her. I hope she's not dead though, because she's a really interesting character, especially because she knows Miles Morales' secret and stuff like that, kind of. So it'd be really interesting to see what happens there. But as for the Green Goblin, he just blasts up out of the building, and then I don't know, I think it's like a really big jump. I don't actually think he can fly. Anyway, going back to Miles Morales, if you remember, Peter Parker actually knocked him out and took his web shooters back, so Miles Morales doesn't have any web shooters right now, and of course he's doing that Spider-Man talking to himself thing. But first, he's actually riding on top of a bus, which is pretty funny. He's going to see Aunt May because, of course, he finds out that Norman Osborn is still alive, so where would the first place be that Norman Osborn would go? Of course, it'll be the last place you was when you killed Spider-Man. I mean, I'd go back there. If I killed someone and I got, like, released, I'd probably... Okay, maybe that's kind of psychotic. I would probably not do that, actually. But yeah, so he's kind of running around looking for Aunt May, stuff like that, and he's confronted by this woman in the street, and then he looks up to the Green Goblin just blasting back down onto Miles Morales in the street, and just the reflection of Miles' eyes as he looks up is just awesome. Of course, Miles just gets launched back into this car, and as he looks up, he starts to remember what happened when Peter Parker and the Green Goblin were in the exact same spot that he's in now. Miles is literally in the exact same situation that Peter Parker was back in Ultimate Spider-Man issue 160. And of course, Green Goblin being the massive supervillain that he is, kind of probably thinking right now, this is where the first Spider-Man died, and this is where the second one's going to die as well. So, what did you guys think of that issue? I thought it was freaking awesome. Definitely one of the best so far, even though we're only on like issue 3. But I think this was a really memorable issue. Pretty much because of how they approached the Green Goblin as well. Like, Norman Osborn just kind of turns up in his suit, and it's just so badass. And especially because Miles kind of knows what's going to happen. Like, when he was remembering how Peter was there, and in the exact same situation as he was in then, and all that. So, I'd probably give this a solid 9 out of 10. Or, in fact, no, scratch that, 10 out of 10. Because I absolutely love this issue, especially the cover as well. I mean, even the cover is just awesome. But yeah, so... Ow, my hand, I just hit my hand. Anyway, going back to the giveaway question, what do you guys think is going to happen in the next issue? So, I'm going to be giving away a digital code for this comic, but what do you guys think is going to happen in the next issue? Let me know in the comment section below. And I'll give you a quick example. I actually think that Peter Parker is actually going to show up and save Miles for round 2 of Green Goblin. So, of course, I don't think Green Goblin... He might know, because as I said earlier, Green Goblin might have a bit of a hand in the fact that Peter's still alive, or it's a clone of Peter or whatever. But I actually think that Peter is actually going to turn up in his original Spider-Man outfit and stop a Green Goblin. And this is kind of like a Green Goblin vs Spider-Man round 2 type of thing. And this time, Peter Parker's going to win. And God knows what's going to happen. But I'm leaning more over to the fact that Peter Parker's just going to go in there and save Miles. And yeah, it's going to be so good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will choose a winner in Miles Morales The Ultimate Spider-Man issue 4. Anyway, if you like my video, guys, then please hit the like button, and of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more. Don't forget to hit the like button as well if you are entering the competition, like the giveaway thing, and I will see you guys in my next video.
Show us what you got when the motherfucking beat drops.